All right, hello everybody, and welcome to the Academy of Animated Arts Community Critique and Chill. This is our fourth one now, which is pretty crazy. Um, so, just a quick little information about what we're trying to do. We're trying to have a chill community critique and hangout. So, we want to invite everyone to give feedback to the pieces as they come through and get practice giving feedback and receiving and iterating on feedback. So, everyone here, please feel free to jump in. Diana's co-hosting with me, and yeah, we'll give feedback as well, but we'd love for other people to butt in and give feedback. So let's start.
Get started.
So we'll start with the people that are here, and I'm already on one. Let's see. Orioles, are you here and able to talk?
Yes, I am
How's it going?
very
Hello.
good. How about you?
Doing great. So I brought in
Nice.
both of your pieces, the the previous one and then the most recent render.
Yeah.
And I know that
Okay.
I think it was Nico, or double check. Yeah, Nico was reposted your original to just show how far you've come. And yeah, it's really cool, and it's really like changed, and it's feeling like a great piece.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
such a big improvement. It looks really nice now.
Thank you, but don't you feel that is missing anything that is just great like that I should just
Oh, for
go
sure.
ahead and post?
Yeah, we're happy to give feedback. And is there anything in particular that like you're struggling with or you have questions about?
Um, well, sometimes that is like when I am doing renders, it's like I should stop right now or should I go further? So sometimes it's like I don't know when to stop.
Mhm.
But other than that, I learned a lot from the guys because they sent me a picture and then I was um, thinking about the light bounces because sometimes it didn't bounce, but I thought of, okay, if it hits here, it should go up right here. So I was
Mhm.
like mimicking bounce lights. So
Mhm.
I think that I can keep practicing and improve.
Sweet. So that's great. Does anyone have any thoughts right off the bat?
I think it's looking I think it's looking really good. The only thing that is like a question in my mind is what is the things blocking the window on the right side? It's like I feel like either maybe close it up all the way, or open them and let some light in. I don't know.
You're talking about like this area here?
Yeah, and the because it looks like it's a window, but it looks like it's
Mhm.
like boarded or something, or like
You mean like
something is in front of
the
it.
small cut?
Yeah, that whole area there.
Yeah, I totally see what you mean. Like I have questions about like what this shape is. Like
Are you sharing the screen because I only
yes.
see your face, but I don't see
So
like
there
the.
Oh yeah.
you should be able to see
If you click on the second forest, uh, you should
Okay,
see it.
okay, okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Can
Yeah.
okay
Yeah,
that
it's a
area.
little unclear what's out there, what's outside the door right there, or like what is the white
Okay, I
rectangle
was
is it
okay.
for? Yeah.
Okay. It's like a small gap between planes, so I'll close it so that it's uniform, like a small gap.
yeah, that would
Hmm.
be cool. Yeah.
mhm.
Thanks for that.
Yeah, I think you could definitely play with, yeah, just darkening that whole exterior to kind of bring the focus in here as well. Or I guess that
Okay.
hallway. Um, yeah, another thing is I think even just this side in general could benefit from going a bit darker to pull our eyes into this area. Um,
Yeah, on that, like there's a little white patch where the sunlight hits at the bottom of that corner.
like
Yeah,
here.
behind, like right there. Yeah, I think those could be probably brought down in like whatever compositing you're using, Nuke or Photoshop, because I think that's like physically correct, but it is like a really hot spot right there.
Oh, okay.
And it's brighter than
Uh,
everything else. Yeah.
okay,
Mhm.
maybe I can put a blocker or something.
Yeah, it's something to consider. But honestly, overall, it looks really pretty. I love how, like, the highlights on the sides of the desks look like it's being hit by sun, and it looks bright without clipping out a ton. And the bounce lights you added look really good, like in the bookcase and on
Yeah.
the ceiling, especially. Love it right there. And the windows where the sun is coming from looks really nice. The curtains
Yeah.
Yeah,
looks great.
they're good.
Thanks so much. I really appreciate this.
Yeah.
And the fact that the desks and the chairs are not perfectly aligned, they look, makes it look a lot more real also.
Hmm.
Yeah, no one pushes in their chairs the right way, so definitely works out.
Nice.
Um, yeah, the only thing I would say maybe is like I guess what's that board thing with like the posters on it on the right side? I would say like from a realistic perspective, it looks really good, but I think maybe like just to push some value shift in it, like it's all just a like one because we're seeing lots of great variation in the shading on like the walls, and then that thing on the side is just it's fairly flat. I think we could introduce a little bit of shaping in it. Maybe I don't know what that's
Oh
pretty
yes.
subjective.
It doesn't have any texture. It's like I was working on the posters, but
Mhm.
I stopped. So yeah, I added more and I removed that one.
Yeah.
Um, so
Yeah,
it's
the
more.
color poster I think might be a little bit too saturated, especially in the like hot pinks. I think so. Maybe just bring that down. And I think this one might be cool if it was like a clear
Yeah.
coated one of those shiny posters. So have like a specular that's hitting it from the side. It would kind of cover it, make it more realistic, and make the contrast not as much.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's true.
Okay, you mean that is like a bounce light on the posters, like
Mhm.
you
No,
think
no, maybe
they're
I don't
going.
think it needs an extra light for it, but maybe just work on the shader, put some,
Yeah, work on a specular roughness.
yeah.
It's looking really awesome though. Like I really feel like I'm living in that kind of environment. Good stuff.
Thanks, guys. I will work on the shaders for those. Uh, Not sure if you want to see how it's looking right now, because I did add a lot more. I
Oh,
guess
Oh, whoa, yeah.
so.
yeah. If you
Let
want to
me.
post, we can grab it.
Oh, see.
Oh, they're sharing the screen. Wow. Became more full.
So right now, I am not sure. I did open the scene and it's darker, so I need to put it back like it was.
Hmm.
But and fix this, like you said. I'm not sure what you think about the saturation on the posters.
Yeah, I like that, there's more elements there, but I do think it's a little too contrasty and a little too colorful.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
Because I
just
definitely in the before in the render that you posted, I was looking at the desks and like sort of the center of the frame for the most part, but
Yeah.
the eye does go right there because it's so many shapes.
Yep.
Yeah. And like like I think
Okay.
like I really like looking at this. Like I feel like I'm
So
drawn to
maybe
the center.
2 or 3 and less saturation.
Yeah, or maybe some things that are like a timetable, which is like white with just a couple black shapes or something more subtle than a lot of color. I think would be helpful.
Mhm. Yeah, like make it so that the viewer's eye isn't immediately drawn
Okay,
to that board.
that I'm going to do then. Thanks for that. Because even yeah, even me, I'm thinking like there's something right there that I want to look at.
Mhm.
Like it's not in the center anymore, like you said.
Mhm.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, looking forward to seeing the next version.
Yeah.
So am I the only one that is given review?
Nope, we have a couple more as well.
I will I will send it as soon as I do those changes. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm stoked to see other people work too.
Yeah, stay on.
Yeah.
One thing that I'm looking at it right now is that the light on the right side,
So,
the hanging light on the right side, is much brighter than the one on the left side.
Hmm.
I wonder if he should balance those, because I'm trying to figure out where that light is coming from that is hitting it.
Yeah.
And it kind of doesn't make sense. I mean, it's probably bouncing somewhere, or maybe it's coming from the window on the right side. But it
Maybe
kind
if
of
you
like,
close it up.
yeah,
Maybe
maybe
when they
just
close it up. Yeah. Or maybe it's a shader issue. It could be anything, but
thanks, or
that's a good point.
Yep.
Really solid.
it totally makes sense.
Sweet.
All right.
All right. So who else is here? Who's got pieces in here? I think that was it. So we can just go. We'll go this way and work our way back. So this is Jeff's work in progress for the girl and robot scene, and here's some of the reference to lots of like the windows with the water droplets.
Mhm.
This is like some like warm interior tungsten lighting in the like sunsetty nighttime. And then where are we
Mhm.
with this? So this
Yeah.
we're having like a nighttime scene with the tungsten light from the interior, and the droplets. I think the one thing that jumped out to me right away with the droplets is I feel like there would be streaks as well as droplets, and so like they like sometimes like they like it looks like they're floating, like they're falling water
Yeah.
droplets more than they're like stuck to the window.
Yeah.
And
The
Yeah,
one
I
thing,
agree. I think they look cool because they look kind of suspended in the air. But yeah, I think adding streaks or maybe making it somehow feel like they're more stuck to the wall.
I think a cool thing to add with the windows to go with the streaks is maybe just a little bit of just throwing in a little bit of like the fogged windows, like just when like I think windows tend to mist up a little bit in the rain, right? I'm not sure, but like I feel like there's always just a little bit of like haziness that you're just looking through a window and there's just that rain, you have the streaks, and then there's just that little bit of haziness in the windows as well. So I think those two elements would make it really cool.
yeah. They normally get a little misty because of the little tiny droplets that you
Oh, okay.
don't really see, but but they're there.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And one thing that kind of jumps at me with the drops is that they look really, really sharp. Even kind of looks sharper than the girl and the robot. So I don't know, maybe soften them a little bit.
Hmm.
Because normally when you have, like, if you go to the references, when you shoot when you have a photo of a window with droplets, either the droplets, like the one on the top left, either the droplets are in focus and everything else is out of focus, or the subject's in focus but the droplets are a little bit, at least a little bit, out of focus.
Hmm.
So I don't know, maybe try that. What do you guys think?
No, that's really good. I was thinking that the depth of field is kind of throwing me off, even though like yeah, the drops do look sharp, and I agree.
Yeah, I think that's a good
Adding
call.
but yeah, but he also is like hasn't composited anything yet, so maybe that'll come later
Yeah.
as well. But I want to say that I really love her eyes.
Hmm. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
They look really nice.
amazing.
And the flowers, I think, look a little satiny or like velvety more than their like wet flowers. I think they look kind of cool, but I don't know how I feel about especially some of them that look especially velvety toward the middle. Maybe some work on the shader a little bit.
Yeah, it almost like there are parts of it that feel like almost like the shader's misaligned, like with these kind of edges, which I don't know if that's the case or not. Um, but but yeah, definitely playing around with it so that they feel like they're like wet flowers is a good call. I think the leaves, some of the leaves are looking good and like and wet,
Yeah,
like this one here
yeah,
stands out to me as looking pretty good. Um, more maybe I'd say this is like the one that really stands out to me is like exemplary of that, whereas these don't feel wet um, on this side. So maybe play with this, which I think is probably a combination of specular hits and just doing some work on the shader. Let's see what else. I think there's
My,
go ahead, Jordan.
my only thoughts, in terms of composition, I feel like we could narrow things in a little bit more on the character since she's the main. We want her and the robot to be the main focus. I feel like the outside's a little bright. I think if we wrap things in a little bit more and just have a little bit more of like a natural vignette kind of heading towards drawing the eye towards those two characters, I think it'll feel a lot. I think the scene is, I believe it's like in the evening. So I feel like it's kind of bright outside for that. I think so. Maybe like drawing that in a little bit more, having a little more of a focus.
Hmm.
I might kind of allow those two characters to pop out more, and then maybe pushing those colors outside a little bit cooler to really have the outside being like a nice cool and then a nice warm interior. I think that would be kind of a cool thing to see too.
That's a great thought, and it's something I think they should definitely play with. And like, I mean, even like in some of these references, it's a bit more stark, or like this one's more stark than what they have, like even from like a contrast standpoint. But like, I think this is a good one to show um, like maybe like right now we have it's like almost too contrasty. Um, like the interior of this shot feels like very like nice and soft the way this light's hitting, and there's like like just a little bit of like these like intense bright areas from the sources, but um, in here this feels like the brightest thing in my eyes being drawn towards it. It doesn't feel like as soft as the reference does, and so I think probably like about which reference you want to go with, but I mean like the one that really jumps out to me is this one. How's everyone else feel?
Sorry, which one?
This one, the the one with the
My,
chandelier.
oh yeah, yeah, I can definitely see. I can see that one being different, like in terms of the values and the overall light. Yeah. So maybe, yeah, I can see that. I like the gobo you have going on. I think it adds some nice variation in kind of like the shadows. Looks good.
And maybe I don't know. Check what is that little sliver of light on the window. Yeah, exactly. Where's that coming from? Because it looks like it's leaking from somewhere.
Yeah, and we also have like a harsh line right here. All right, switch colors so let's see. But yeah, there's like a harsh line right here going up the side of the window that maybe want to look into softening that up, or and then you have it here as well with this warmer light.
Yeah.
And then I'd say if you're going to go with this angle, and like I've noticed this with some other girl and robot scenes, watch out for this brick texture. It right now it just feels very low res, and it sticks out like a sore thumb. So see if you can work on that texture, or if you need to like drop in a different like exterior house texture to just kind of help it blend more with the scene.
Maybe displacement or bump.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, see if you can if there's a displacement map with it, or if you can, yeah, like play around with that until you get something you're happy with. But some depth in those bricks, especially since we're so close, would be helpful. And then yeah, I like Jordan's idea too of like compositionally, if you punch in a little bit, um, like that might help, as well as allow for what Andre is saying about like getting some of the water droplets out of focus, and having the characters in focus. So if you know like add like make the lens a little bit of a longer lens, it'll help justify having a narrower depth of field. Anything else?
Nothing here, but looking good so far. Keep up the great work.
Yeah, agreed. Alrighty.
One, I think that the only thing you don't have to go back to the photo, but just yeah, like you guys said, darken the inside of the room a little bit more so that the characters can come out a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so the next one is from Ellen Jim. Um, yeah, and I don't think there was a reference included. But yeah, this is looking good. I like this a lot. Like the way
Me too.
the sun is
Love.
looking. Yeah. Um, I'd say the carpet shader probably needs work with it. Because I don't think the carpet would get blown out. Like
Mhm.
the floor is getting blown out, but I really love how it is on the
Hardwood.
floor, on the hardwood floor.
Yeah. Same with the cushion that they're sitting on. And I think a little bit on the characters itself, it's getting a little bit too blown out slash clipped. Just a little bit. Maybe I think might need to bring the intensity down a bit and play with the floor texture to keep it looking this way. Like that could be a different way to approach that because it looks a little bit too intense on everything else except the floor.
Yeah,
But I love how it looks on the floor. I really do.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, and I know Math said it as well, but I think letting maybe the sides of the room fall into shadow or out of focus or bringing the camera closer would help because you have a really nice thing going with outside the window and right in the middle with the characters, but the elements outside aren't getting as much love and they don't need as much love. You can let it go darker or even cut them out. So I think that's a good idea to play with.
Mhm.
yeah,
A little like division in the window pane. Like there's a light side and a dark side. That's kind of weird. Worth
yeah.
looking at. Those are the big things that I notice.
I'm also noticing now on her, there's this triangle of light.
Mm.
Mm.
So I'd look at where that's coming from. Because to me, that feels like it is a light cut like from over here, and that doesn't feel motivated. So maybe there's some light linking going on that needs to be fixed.
Hmm. Yeah, I think there could be more bounce light in the center on the characters too, from because how much sun is hitting the floor, and floors um, tend to be really reflective. So a little more bounce light in the center, and let the sides fall into shadow would be my next steps. But
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah, basically, I think we're all saying we love this floor, just match
yeah,
everything else around it.
Love it.
Um, and then I would challenge you to play with like figuring out how to get some life into this character, like in either like adding a light into the eyes or whether it be like a tiny light or like there's an emitting light. Um, this is yeah something we've had conversations about. Is it with the lights off, it feels like the character is turned off. Um, and if that's what you're going for, that's totally fine too. But just something to think about.
The only thing I noticed, there's like below the curtain, there's just like a dark line. I'm not sure. Like yeah, like those dark areas, like right on the floor there. I'm not entirely sure.
Hmm.
I don't know.
yeah,
I'm
I'm guessing it's like shadow from some kind of overhead fill light, or like some
okay.
kind of fill light above, which
Okay.
like makes sense. But yeah, definitely like fill that in, lift it up more. I think
Hmm.
it's dark.
Yeah. I think it looks a little bit harsh, but I think if it was brought up just a couple, it'd be good.
Yeah.
And maybe I don't know. The robot looks like it has only one eye the way it is right now. So maybe turning,
Mm.
rotating the head a little bit. What do you guys think? To show the other eye. Um,
I mean, I
I mean,
think it could.
actually, I don't mind having
Like,
one
I
eye.
don't mind that it reads like he has one eye. Like, it feels like he's facing us.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
But then what bothers me is that you know, the right side of its head is different than the left side.
yeah,
So I don't
yeah.
know.
I mean,
Oh yeah, definitely. That's like that's a good observation. Like it depends on what the person wants for the robot. Same goes for like the light in the eye and stuff.
Hmm.
yeah. Honestly, though, you're doing a really good job on it. And yes, I cannot repeat this more. I love the forest. So good.
Yeah, and the robot's hero color, like the red is reading really nicely, which is amazing
Yeah.
as well. So a lot of good things going on. Just
Mhm.
gotta focus it. Yeah, because I let me not repeat myself again. So I think there's a lot of good things going on with the characters.
Yeah.
So we just need to bring the focus there.
Sweet. All right. So next up is Thomas. This is their
Yeah.
render.
Yeah, I don't know. All these submissions look good.
Yeah.
Like,
You guys are awesome.
Yeah, I think these reflections are looking great.
yeah.
I love the shaping on the pants,
Mm.
as well as like I mean just in general. I think there's lots of nice shaping going on the clothes and like on the robots, on like the rim light on the robots really nice.
Yeah, I think the sun could be a little brighter overall. Because
Mhm.
I think there's an implication that it is kind of direct sunlight, maybe a little diffused from the clouds or something, but I think it could go overall, the scene could go a little bit brighter.
Yeah, yeah. I like the idea of like this being like dark over light, and I think it works especially for this robot who to me feels like kind of the hero character of this shot.
Hmm.
Um, so I think you're right. I think like just like like bringing up a fill a little bit more, and while also raising the sun value will be very helpful. I keep like this. I feel like right here, like where her chin and her neck and the way they're lit. Like I see it's kind of part of this rim
Mm-hmm.
here, but I feel like I almost want to see just a little bit more kind of shaping that comes around, like on her cheek as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I feel like that might want to play around with the subsurface
yeah.
settings too, right?
Hmm.
Because that's what that looks like.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and especially because it kind of feels like, I don't know, it gives me the impression that the sun is on the left side, setting on the left side of the screen, so she would have a rim around her cheeks, uh, of some sort of rim around her face, and also like you guys said, maybe upping the fill light a little bit, because it's like the robot's left eye is reflecting like almost the whole world, and the right eye looks like dead. So maybe the right eye reflecting a little bit of the room would be interesting, uh, bringing a little bit more of the room inside the picture.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a great opportunity for that. That's a good thought.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys feel? Oh, sorry. Cut someone off.
No, you're good.
Do you guys feel like we could maybe introduce like a little bit more like light on top of her head? 'Cause I feel like with the window being all the way up there, I feel like we would be seeing more shaping along the edge, or maybe like around on top.
I feel like no, definitely like a little more fill because her whole kind of back of the head is like super dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think getting a little more light in there would be good. But I also am getting the impression that the sun is kind of right behind her head or right above her head behind the window.
Hmm.
So it does make sense that there's not too much light coming
Okay.
in through there.
But I think it is a good call, at the very least, that there should be like some separation,
Yeah.
like Diana was saying, either like a kick or something that um, brings out the separation between the window frame and her head. So that's a good thought, Jordan, for sure.
Mhm.
What else? Yeah, I'd love to see some reference too. Like I think that could be very helpful to like really get like that backlit sunset look. Um, I feel like some reference might help you. Like I'm liking where this is going, but I'd love to see like these hits on the wall, like kind of bringing that kind of sunsetty look into the room, which is already feeling like kind of nice and soft. But I'm thinking like color wise, um, I think it'd be cool
Yeah.
to play with that.
Yeah, and I also want to mention because I said maybe try bringing up the sun value a little bit, that like on her sleeve and the mug, it is getting a little bright there. So you might want to like play with the position or that shader to make sure that it doesn't get too blown out while we raise it for the rest of the scene.
Yeah, definitely a good thought.
Doing good so far, though. I love it.
Yeah, nice
And
work.
in katana.
Oh, snap. Yeah, sweet.
Yeah, it
Yep.
looks great.
Yeah, it does.
All right, so Otiaman. So this is
Yeah.
their most recent submission. They say it's for them it's pretty close to final. They're still making some adjustments. Um, any thoughts right off the bat?
I know Ivan mentioned the volume raise and the sun position disconnect.
Yeah.
So I think they're working on that because that is like that is like a big one that jumped out at me. So I'm not gonna talk too much about it.
Yeah, that was the first thing that jumped at me too, because she, like, the robot has a speck highlight on the left side of its head. She has a shadow behind her head, which makes me think that the sun is off to the side of the left side of the window,
Yeah.
and then I see the sun right behind them, right below, between them. So yeah, that throws me off, but it looks beautiful. I
Yeah.
love it.
Honestly, I think think it would be great if the sun, if this is an HDRI, it just got rotated.
Yeah.
Because like all of the lightings appears to be motivated for if the sun was more, somewhere
Yeah.
in this area coming down, or a little even
Yeah.
further than that. But that's all the place I can paint. Um, but yeah, so like that, I think that would help. It also really helped. Like there's, I mentioned this in the chat, but like, and it's starting to feel a little bit better, but it almost feels like the sun is shining through the character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that might still need
because
to be played with.
there's a light in there or something, right? Like a big light bulb.
Yeah.
I think maybe just change the value, right? To change value or color to something that's
Yeah,
different.
I think the color, because even if it was the value, it might look like it's a darker glass, maybe.
Mhm.
But yeah, it totally looks like the
Part of the sky.
the robot has nothing inside its head.
Mhm. I really like what's going on here in the curtains, like the speck on the like kind of gold
Yes.
inlay. I think that is awesome.
Yeah.
I think that it needs some work on the pillows. Um, they're looking just like a bit too shiny right now. Like the values are too large in that shine, and so um,
Yeah, or the bump is a little too high.
yeah,
Like something about it looks super.
And also, one thing now that you mentioned the pillows, on the pillows it looks like the sun is where it is on the
yeah,
image. So that kind of throws me off a little bit also, because
you're
it's like
totally right.
everything is shadowing to the right side of the image, but then the pillows on the left are shadowing to the left.
Yeah. Yeah, so look into that. See if you can get that to match up. That might be so that they were getting, because like if it was coming from here, maybe they weren't getting spec hits.
Mhm.
But like I think that it's totally right now feeling like a misalignment of the sun. So that's definitely a good thought. And then I think Diana, you're right, like about the bump. This pillow, without any of that light on it, you can tell that the bump is super high. Maybe even play with darkening this area, the interior of the shelf and the side of it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Help draw our eye more into this area.
I would darken the whole image too.
Yeah, and I don't know if the background is a matte painting or an HDRI, but the dark side of the building looks super dark.
Yeah,
Would it be that dark? Or I guess if the sun was on the right side, which it is in that picture, this would make the building would make sense. But yeah, it's the sun direction problem again. So
it makes it feel like it's from a like a 2D animated cartoon. Like
yeah,
how harsh the divide is. So maybe like softening up if it isn't a matte painting, softening up the shadow and playing with that is a good idea.
mhm.
And then I really like the way the speck on the wall is here.
Yeah.
I think this is really nice.
Yeah, love spec.
Mhm. Yeah, keep it up. It's looking
I
really
like the
good.
way the sun shines on her slipper, like just to like make the cat or whatever that is. But it's like this
Hmm.
little thing there. It looks really cool.
Yeah, you're totally right. Yeah, it gives it some like nice life.
But
Like,
then now looking like for a minute into it, it's like it feels like misses is it's asking for a shadow on the right side of the slipper or something. Kind of looks like it's floating over the
Hmm.
the pillow.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of more playing around with the shaping. Looking to see if there's anything else jumping out to me. Anything else jumping out to anyone else?
I love it so far.
Yeah,
Really,
looks great. Looks great.
Yeah.
10 on the curtains. Like they're just so beautiful, especially the way the sun hits them from the outside. Like I'm a fan.
Sweet. Awesome. Well, that's all of the submissions. So
Cool.
thank you everyone for joining the critique part. Feel free to stick around as we'll just kind of hang out and chat. But yeah, thank you everybody for coming and for submitting and for giving feedback.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks to you instead.